today we talk a little bit about dog size and not only that, but actually like weight and all, because it's a huge issue. Uh, People, like I have friends of mine. By the way, the reason why he's attached is because there are some horses running around, so I just have him attached. I'm going to show you a couple more dogs in a minute, so you see a little bit the difference in variety of within the Malamutes even. He's a big guy. He just came out of the tent. We were just napping along. So he's a little bit worse for wear right now. But he's the biggest guy that I have. But he is pretty athletic. So the problem on especially big dogs is that the heavier they are, the more joint problems they're going to get. He has worked really hard all his life. He is still, even though he has some issues, he is still pushing and really like hammering into the harness, which is ridiculous. He could dial it back, but he can't. He's just driven like that. Anywho, in terms of sizing and all, it is really important that those big guys don't have that much weight on them. There's a really nice, a Real Canin has one, basically a size chart where it shows like between a level from 1 to 9, I think, in terms of like how fat the dog is, which is a really good indicator to look at it. A working dog should be around 4 to 5, something like that. 4 is a little bit on the lower scale. But in terms of working, it's actually, come here. He wants to go inside. But the problem with Malamutes is they are really heavy in the front. Usually, you get really slim ones as well, but usually you want to have them. Their archetypical version is like quite heavy in the front. He is. Nippy, you're not very cooperative right now. Maybe some of the other guys are a little bit more. Are you still sleepy? Munchki. There you go. Now we're talking, huh? He's a little bit straight in the back, but that doesn't really hinder him that much. He's pacing a little bit, but for what I am doing, it doesn't really matter that much. He has a really nice trot, though, if he does. Now, since he's 9, he's and heavy and has his problems. He's not as good as he used to be, but he's still banging and barking, like I said. The thing on him is like, when you touch the dog here, you should be able to still feel the hip bone. And you need to have like a really nice shape to see here. Granted, it's a little bit hard to see on those big type dog, or in general, like those furry dogs, to see the ribs and stuff. But if you actually go through, you need to be able to still feel the hips. If I would go on an expedition when I'm like back on Svalbard, whenever that's gonna happen, I want the dogs a little bit heavier, a bit fatter, because there it's about pulling heavy loads, and you kind of wanna build a little bit more muscle out of that, and having a little bit more fat reserves. Here, even in the mountains in Scandinavia, since you're going on prepared trails and whatnot, you want them, and for longer distances as well, you want the dogs a little bit on a slimmer side compared to what you would do on an expedition. If you look at expedition pictures, you often see like really chunky dogs and whatnot. It's not. It is for what they were doing back then. It was pretty necessary to do so because of limited supplies and whatnot. Now you can dial it back a little bit to actually gain a little bit more performance, if you know what I mean. So when it comes to that, really take all of those things with a grain of salt. Like I said, the more prep trails you have, the more you need to be a bit more on a side that actually helps the joints a little bit more, if you know what I mean. So that is, something to definitely look at. 2 years ago when when I was working in Kiruna and my dogs were coming with me on tours, after 3,500 kilometers this season, they were pretty much done because we had mainly prep trails, decent amount of speed, not super long distances, like 30, 40 kilometers a day and whatnot, but it really took a toll on my big guys, especially him, since he's going so hard, and also my one of my other guys, um, Kunik. He was pretty much done as well, because it's those heavy types. Even though I didn't keep them fat, but I kept them a little bit fatter, but since I came from Svalbard, I was still a little bit in that mindset, So they would have definitely. Uh, Benefited from me being a little bit more cautious in terms of weight. So yeah, so that's the big guy. He's actually 71 centimeters and right now probably around 41 or so kilos, 43. In his heaviest, he was about 47-ish, 46, 47, which is heavy, So right now in the summertime, he's probably around 39, 40. And in wintertime he should be around 43. So you just have a little bit of an angle. Kunik, the guy that I mentioned, he was around 46-ish, 48. Right now with this new owner, because I couldn't keep him since he didn't really fit in the team, not because of his size, but he was quite nervous dog and tried to pick up fights quite often because out of his insecurity basically. Um, he's like 55, easy, because he was a little bit longer, or he is a little bit longer than Nippy is. So that really makes for a much bigger dog, even though size-wise they're about the same. All right, I'm gonna show you some more dogs and then compare. You, danger, danger. Hey, don't fuck it. So this is Anirok. I already showed you two of his or brother and sister in the last video, Nak and Kinyak. Kinyak is a little bit, is actually a size too small for Malamute female, at least in my opinion, but she's actually according to standards. So this guy is he is also pretty much standard. He's about 65 centimeters. By the way, in case you're wondering why he looks like ass right now, it's because the dog yard is really muddy at the moment. We had some snow, but it got rained down again. So and it never really froze. So it's really shitty at the moment. So he is actually my new main lead dog. He is a bit chunky. He has much shorter coat, as you can see, but he has a really nice head actually. Anirok, come on. Hey, buddy. He's a bit excited. Hey, buddy, huh? And he's always excited. But with him, you can, I don't know, you probably can't see, but he is a bit, he probably has eaten bone now, so his line here is a little bit more bloated out. Yeah, he is a bit, the stomach is a bit harder. Yeah. Shh. Hey, easy. So for him, you can see, I actually took a picture in the summertime from him where he was like really slim. And in the summertime, like I said, I tried to keep them fairly slim. Hey, buddy, can you calm down a little bit? There you go. Really nice angulation. And in general, like the way he looks right now for autumn training is actually really good. You can still feel the hip bones here, which is really important, like I said before. Oh, he's quite tense. See, he is tensing up here when you start rubbing this area here. It's, the harness and everything sits here. I usually rub them through on a regular basis. Now it was raining so much, so I couldn't really do it, because it's really annoying when the coat is wet. Trying to go through it just hurts them more than it actually benefits. His coat is still quite wet, and as you can see, he's still shedding a little bit. Hey, buddy, huh? Yo, how you doing? But yeah, the main reason why I want to show you this is because people have tons of opinions. Obviously, I'm just giving you mine in terms of like how fat or how slim a dog should look like. It all depends on what you're doing. If you're serious about, once in a while go out training, not necessarily serious in that you want to compete or some shit like that. It's more about if you're really serious about training, you just have to apply your own logic. I mean, just imagine you're going out running, for the first time in ages, you're going out on a 5-kilometer run, and you're a little bit too schlubby yourself. You feel it immediately, and not only that your lungs are burning because they haven't done shit for a long period of time, but it's also the weight really takes a toll on you, so apply the same logic to the dogs. As simple as that, like I said, the Royal Canin chart is really nice to see. I mean, they just, they basically consulted the right people, I guess, and you can find the chart anywhere else. If you just type in dog weight chart or something similar to that, you will see it. I mean, and just look at different dogs. I just had the case that my friends, they have a young dog. It was 1 year old, and the vet said the dog is too slim. And I said, like, no, he's not too slim. He's perfect the way he looks. And a puppy, like especially when he's 1 year old, I mean, it doesn't have to be fat, It doesn't have to be super chubby, because he's a fairly big dog, a little bit clumsy, and they go out biking with him. So you don't want to have that dog with too much weight on it, because they go on hard surfaces. The more weight they have, the more impact it has, especially when it's a little bit clumsy dog. The heavier they are, the clumsier they get, because they can't control their body. Their center of gravity is wrong or whatever it is, so it really has a lot of impact. So especially on a bigger dog, when you start working with them, you have to consider that. Something happening there? Something's coming down? Hey, buddy, huh? Mr. Handsome Boy. So the way I do it usually is in the summertime. Now, at least, I used to not do that. Especially when I was working heavier loads and stuff. I kept them heavier because then they could build up muscles. Stop smearing your fucking muddy infested legs on me. He's about he's about 38 kilos, I would say. 39 maybe. His brother Nag, as you've seen in the last video, he was 37, so he's might be 39, closing into 40. He's a bit more heavier build. Size-wise, they're about the same. Beautiful trot as well. Just in general, like really good head actually, and happy, and always happy, like propelling his tail around and shit. He's awesome. I really like him. No, he's looking at the horses. Anyway, I digress. So, buddy, huh? Yeah, you're a handsome boy. So, if you're going a little bit on longer distances, a bit lighter weight and stuff like that, which I do here, because even when you go out touring, the trails are usually much easier for the dogs to go on. So I, especially in the summertime, I keep them slim, and then build them up to autumn. So they have some kilometers in, some smoother going and whatnot, you know, and then I actually built them up a little bit, you know. Now the whole season's a bit delayed since it was so warm, but regardless of that, you know, it's I can really see the benefit in terms of movability, you know. If you have a team of fat dogs, they move like shit. They look bad. They just wobbling along, they overheat super fast. And they don't really get any smooth going in, you know. It takes super long until the season actually properly starts for those guys, you know. So I actually had that last year, that I had them a little bit, no, 2 years ago. Anyway, they were too fat, and it took a long time before they, yeah, it was last year, before they actually get a little bit of a groove in, you know. That was like by December, they looked like the way I thought they should look like. Now I can see that they already starting to go into a nice groove, you know. The temperatures need to drop a little bit more, so I can actually make a quote unquote good assumption. But they move in about 11 and a half kilometers per hour moving speed, which is where I want them to be, where I can have them, even my big guys. Of course, the overall speed then in the end is dropping, since I stop way often, way more often than, you know, some other people might do, but I prefer that, you know, let them cool down and whatnot. So when it comes to snow season, then in the end, then it looks a little bit different in terms of, like, you know, having a bit more a groove in, you know, and just like stopping every half an hour or whatever to snack them or check them or, you know, rub them down and, you know, goof around a little bit and whatnot. So yeah. Okay, so this one is a little bit more important. This is a fat dog. Galina is a little bit fat. The thing is, once she is fat, it's really, it's really hard for her to lose weight. You can see, like, when she... Galina is a little happy girl. Come here. Stay in the frame, girl. You can see when she moves, her whole body, like, you know, the fur basically shifts around the whole skin. And that is not how a working dog should look like. She's a bit still short-coated. She still didn't build up her winter coat yet, but Galina, come here. Good girl. She's super happy girl. And she actually started running a lead a little bit as well, but yeah, she's a really good working dog. Oh yeah, you're also a little bit stiffy, huh? No. Oi. But on her, hey lady, good girl. You're a bit overwhelming, huh? Yeah. Come here. Happy lady. You found something, huh? No one is here. There's still leftovers from the you know, the shibby tail at the moment. Yeah, she looks a little bit worse for wear. Bloody mud everywhere. Come here, you go. Come here. Come. There you go. So, this is what I mean. I mean, you can't feel it, obviously. But, you know, if I do this is not how a dog should look like. That is fat. That is not muscle or whatever bullshit. That is fat. Here, she actually looks fairly okay. She has a bit of a build up here. But it's definitely like, she's the type of dog that builds like this really compressed fat layer. You know, some dogs, they get like super loosey-goosey, you know, when they're getting fat, but she builds up like really compressed fat. And that is shit. That is not how a dog should look like. Like I said, the problem with her is, like, once she gets to that point, which is because of the reindeer, the moose hunting season, we got a lot of meat, a lot of bones and everything. So I really built the dogs up, and once she gets to that point, it's really hard to actually get rid of the fat again, because you don't want to put them on a diet when you start running, you know. So this will come down slowly but surely. But she is a medium-sized dog, so for her, it it's affecting her obviously in terms of performance, but it doesn't have that big of an impact compared to a big guy like the ones I showed you before, you know. So it will come down, but like I said, this is a bit too much, you know. It's you want, you know, some people could argue this is perfectly fine for autumn training and whatnot. For her, it's okay. For big guys, it's not okay, because that will affect their performance tremendously and their joints and everything. For her, like I said, she's a bit of a smaller dog. It has a bit of a less impact, but it still has an impact. Ow! See, that is the reason why I often have, like, you know, or not often, but once in a while I have a blue eye, or, you know, it's like some scratch on my eye. This is actually from a tree this time, but usually it's her. She just pokes me in the eye, or something similar to that, because she can't control herself. You lady, are you a bit of a stupid girl? You. I know you're a little bit tangled here right now, huh? I want you to be close. She is moving circles all the time, all the time. She's always busy. Not so much in the dog yard, but she's living together with her sister, I'd say, with her daughter, and with Anjarok that I just showed you. Galina, Galina, nee, what are you doing? Yeah. Good cow. All right, just wanted to show you this because it's a bit much, but she is still lovely little girl, huh? See here, it's a bit. All of it is a little bit much. She builds up super good muscles though. It's just, you know, you see a little bit of different types, you know. Like I said, check out Nak and Kinyak, since I have them stacked standing for a really long time, so you see a little bit like how they look like as well. Have a good one.